I'm here with another photography team video, and today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about scanning your photos. If you're really interested in analog photography, I strongly suggest that you do your own film development and your film scanning. You might have already watched my color negative film development video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how I scan my negatives. Of course, there are different ways to do it, more like do-it-yourself ways where you can use an iPad's light and your cell phone, or you can also use the Lomography's Lomo scanner to convert your negatives into your cell phone. But for me, I use a flatbed negative scanner, which is basically a flatbed document scanner that can shine light from the both sides. And I find it gives me more opportunities on how I want the quality or the color, and also if I'm using something like a spinner or sprocket rocket that exposes the film holes, then I get more control over how the results turn out. And you can see the corner here. This is my scanner. So I'm currently using this big one here, the Canon Mark II 9000F, whatever. And it is basically, when you open it, this part looks like a regular scanner, but when you look inside the top, then you have another light here which allows the negatives to be converted into positives. And what I mean by that is, when you develop a film, there are different kinds of film. There is the color negative film, which when developed, it turns into this brownish hue, and you don't really see the images, only get like a glimpse of it, but don't really see the true colors. So this is the negative film. Then we have color positive film, which gives you, if developed with color positive chemicals, it gives you slides, which you might have seen in like slide projectors, these images with the white borders, and then you actually see the photo inside, but it looks like a transparency. And if you develop that one with color negative chemicals, then it's cross processing and basically changing the colors of the film. And for both, you actually need to convert the image into a positive to see the actual color, which the scanner does that. And it comes with a couple things that are already included, one of which is this thing. So if I'm scanning like a regular document, or if I'm scanning old photos, then I put this cover up in there, which prevents the top light from shining down. So it allows me to scan a regular document or photo. And I have these. This one is for 35mm negatives, and this is for medium format negatives. I put my films inside these and then put this inside the scanner to scan. And this one actually scans like 6 images in one line, so 12 in total. And with this one, depending on the camera I used, if it's 6x6, then I can scan 3 photos at once. I just mentioned that there's something called positive slides, and if I had slides, then I would scan them with this, 4 at once. And I also sometimes use my sprocket rocket or spinner 360, which actually exposes the film holes. For that, I get the help from Digitaliza from Lomography. And what this does is, this one just holds the film from the very corners of it, which allows me to be able to scan it with my scanner, because in this, the holes are closed when I put a negative here, and in this, it's open. I also try to keep my negatives pretty organized, and I'm currently, for the past 4 or 5 years, using these Kaiser files, and they actually work perfectly with my scanner, because since my scanner scans 6 photos in once, here I also have enough space to put a negative consisting of 6 regular images. And I put these into a bigger binder, and they are all organized from like the first roll of the year going down towards the last one of the year. So every time I need a negative again, then I can just switch the pages sort of from the book and then pick the one I need. To make it more understandable how this all works, I have a regular negative film here, which I shot with, I'm guessing, with my LCA. So I look at both sides and I pick the shiny parts, and I open this up, put the negative here, and then close it in. So now my negative is held up by this thing, and I don't see the holes there. But if I had an image that I shot with my spinner or sprocket, I don't know how visible it is, but the holes are also exposed here, then I would need to put it in here. So how the Digitaliza works is, again, I have my negative. I open this part up and pull up the plastic here, and then the bottom you see there's a metal. So this basically has a magnet mechanism. So I put my negative inside and I close the plastic part again and down, and now it looks like it just came out of the package basically, so I don't really see anything. And when I pull this, since it works with a magnet-like mechanism, then the bottom metal is let loose and my negative happily stays there. And this way I also see the holes, and then I'm gonna be able to scan them with my scanner. My scanner doesn't quite fit into the frame, but I still want to show you how I put the negatives inside. When I'm working with a regular 35mm negative, what I do is I just line it up with the dot here and put it straight down. And then when the scanner cover is actually closed, the scanner works to do its job with the light coming on and this mechanism going down to scan it. And now that it's open, it's not gonna work. If I was using a spinner or sprocket rocket negative that had the holes, then things would change a little, and what I would do is put it straight in the middle loosely. I need to make sure I leave a little space here, because originally there's a space here, and otherwise the color shifts and it turns a pale weird bluish tone. And I try to make sure that it's going down straight, so I don't have to wiggle it after I scan it. And then there's this metal rod inside the scanner. I also make sure that the negative is not lined up on top of it, which would again affect the colors. I'm using the inkjet scan utility from Canon to scan my negatives, and when I open it up, I make sure that the color negative film is selected and then do a preview to see if the scanner will automatically select all my photos or if I need to adjust the selection, because sometimes it just if it's like the first photo of the roll, then it might not select it properly, so I go back and edit it. For now, I'm just going to select one single photo to make this faster to show you guys. And this negative is a Rolei Vario Chrome cross-processed negative, thus the greenish hue. And my settings are usually 1200 dpi, and for the rest of them I leave them as default settings and not do any adjustments, because especially if you select the remove dust and scratches with cross-processed film, it usually messes up the colors. If I had more photos to scan, I would say go ahead, but now I'm just gonna close it up and show you the negative. Scanning a negative with exposed holes goes pretty much the same as far as the settings, but one thing that changes is when you preview an image with exposed holes, such as the one that I'm currently doing, the Sprocket Rocket negative, the image looks palish blue. So I need to adjust my settings a little bit for this, like you've seen right now. And what I do is I deselected all, and when I move my selection into the middle part of the image, then the colors are proper, and I say apply from the menu so that these color settings are applied to the entire image even if I select a bigger area. So when I go into a bigger selection now, then I again see the positive image instead of this pale white ghostish thing. And then I scan with the same settings as I did with the regular negative. Since I'm scanning with 1200 dpi, it takes about 1 minute per frame, and if I was to do a lower dpi, then that would quicken the process definitely. What I end up getting with 1200 dpi is about 2 megabytes per image, which works for me quite frankly, but I can also select a lower DPI and change the output size from the menu on the left, which would also work to make my image larger. So now this image is ready for viewing as well. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, just write me down in the comments and I'll get back to you. And I hope you subscribe to my channel and not miss another video. Bye!